Good morning and welcome to Dobutsu Kyoji, the Animal Liberation Temple. One moment while I check the live streams. Oh, good morning, Jackie. So good to see you. No volume. Thank you. Let's see. No volume. Thank you. Oh, seems like I do have volume. Hopefully that's fixed for folks. It looks like I have volume on Facebook. Let me know if that volume is still not working. Oh, so good to see you, Chapman Chen. Such a wonderful religious advocate for our dear animal friends. I'm so happy to see you here live. Good morning, Yolanda. So good to see you. I think I have volume. People are saying. Okay, good. Neil says they see you. Good morning, Gail. Gail. Neil. uh, I'm reading and trying to get these things working now. Good. Um, so let's quickly go into our updates. Um, Health is doing better. My skin's doing better. I got my sink working. I still only have cold water, but I do got the sink working, so I could shave, which was kind of nice. I haven't done that in a while. Um, so the bathroom's coming along. Still a lot of things I need to get done. One is a water heater. We had a water heater I talked about before. It kind of works. It gets really hot for 3 minutes and then it's done. So making a shower kind of impossible. Unless I want to take a cold shower, which I wouldn't mind if it wasn't so cold here. Um, it's just been really cold, which means we're running the generator a lot at night to keep heat going, which is not ideal. We're trying to do a fundraiser. I was trying to hold off until November to do our fundraiser for the end of the year, and for winter coming up, we're hoping to like get some extra batteries, maybe build some more shelters for the birds, mostly to protect them from the rain. The tortoises are getting really big and need a new enclosure, so they can like walk around a little bit more. Also, it's winter; they're actually going to be walking around less, and they're going to need a place to like semi-hibernate. They don't actually hibernate, but they do slow down a lot in the winter. So I want to give them a nice, comfortable place for them to be able to do that through the winter months. Um, but we got our ducks doing super good. Breve, Grave, Amanda, and Renee. Jingle the dog, still struggling to walk around, but he was up this morning. I can hear him walking around right now. Already ate breakfast. Lucy's right here to my right. She's doing super good. The goats down the hill are Rob, Matt, and Philip are all doing really well. The three tortoises, again, slowing down because it's colder, but I'm hoping to get them a new house coming up here soon. Priya and Harriet are doing wonderful. Good feather growth, continuing to come in. Harriet is back to her very active self and is jumping up to get food. I don't like that she jumps because she's a heavy bird and it could be bad for her legs. Um, but good to see the energy in her. Really happy to see that. Ray, saw him around here earlier. He ate and he's walking around somewhere. Ray's doing really good. Jax, Oscar, and Jimmy are doing well. Um, Jax, Oscar, and Jimmy are actually they've lost a lot of weight, and I'm concerned about that. So been giving them a little bit extra food, kind of help them get some of that weight back on. They have no problem eating all of their food, but um, they might be just getting older and more active, and maybe we're not giving them enough food. So we upped their diet a little bit. The guinea fowl, Stan, Kyle, and Wendy are all doing really well. Um, and that's our guinea fowl friends. Our rooster friends, Sabrina May, um, Brad, Hard One, Mr. Black, Elton, and Magnus are all doing really well. All the hens in the main area, Glennis, Gwen, Alice, Melissa, Sunny, Dora, and Daniela are all doing really well. The rats, Yamabushi and Hasu, are doing good. Yamabushi was, came out and cuddled with me last night and was playing around and uh, really likes being on my shoulder a lot. The dove, Sequoia, she's doing really, he's doing really good now. He's a lot more friendly with me. I'll put my hand in there and he'll let me, kind of pick him up and kind of hang out with him and snuggle with Sequoia the dove a little bit. So um, Sequoia is definitely adjusting well. The Cornwell Corner with Poppy, Aster, Ivy, Azalea, Peony, Cynthia, Lotus, Edward, Magnolia, Hazel, Sage, Marigold, Camilla, Hydrangea, Holly, and Zinnia. They're all doing super good. I'm happy to report Feather Growth's looking really good. Very active and happy. And then of course we have our 40 pigeons. FP, our first pigeons, and we have Champagne, Appletini, Tulin, Sasha, Yo-Yo, Petey, Ricky, Spencer, Shambles, Beluga, Beth, Pee-wee, Cascade, Augusta, Frankie, Rufus, Harper, Elliot, Snickers, Boba, Kismet, Farah, Angus, Pandora, Jones, Finch, Sin, Harriet, Lago, Fred, Tramonto, Halo, Vin, Capone, Thimble, Percy, Pacino, Lacey, and Sasha. And that brings our count. We have 90 non-human animal friends living here. I thought it was 91, but I recounted, and maybe I have to adjust my post I just made. I just made a post on Facebook and Instagram, kind of trying to get our fundraiser going. Also, I know my mother, her birthday's tomorrow, so, wish my mother a happy birthday. She's also doing a fundraiser for us. We're hoping that we can get through these winter months with some upgrades that we definitely need here, and just kind of make life a little bit easier for me here to, be able to care for all these animals. Heat would be really nice, which means just running our generator more or getting more batteries, or maybe a combination of both. So we're going to be doing that. So even if you don't have the ability to contribute, that's okay. We really, if you share our posts, share this live stream, share our posts mentioning our fundraiser or my mother's fundraiser, all those things really help get our message in front of the right people who can have the ability to help out. So a big help is just sharing. Back and make sure all our live streams doing well. Of course, that closed. Oh, Nomo Amitabha Chapman-chan. Yeah, happy birthday to my mother. She's a wonderful woman, a great supporter of our sanctuary. Lots of residents at the sanctuary. Yeah, 90 residents here at the sanctuary. And I got Ray over here to my right now, kind of hanging out. Oh, you might be able to see his head pop up just a little bit. We love Ray. So we'll get started with the prayers and sutras, all as always dedicated to our dear animal friends. Hopefully your own resident family member, friends are there with you to be able to hear these sutras and prayers because they're meant for them. And if possible, for all our wild animal friends out there to be able to hear these prayers as well is of great benefit. And we'll start with the Heart Sutra found on page 4 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. Maka hanya haramita shingyo kanji zai bosatsu gyojin hanya haramita jiso kengo onkai kudo isai kuyaku shari shi shiki fuku kufu ishiki shiki zokuze kuku zokuze shiki juso gyo shiki yaku bunyo ze shari shi ze shoho kuso fusho fumetsu fuku fujo fuzo fugenze koku chumu shiki muju sogyo shiki mugen ni bizetshin ni mushiki shoko misoku ho mugen kai nai shimu ishiki kai mu mumyo yaku mu mumyo jinnai shi muro shi yaku muro shi jin muku shumetsu do muchi yaku mu tokui mushu tokko bodai sa tai anya haramita koshin mukege komu kufunri se tendo muso kugyo nehan sanze shobutsu e hanya haramita kotoku wa nokutara sanyaku sanbodai kochi hanya haramita zedai shinshu zedai myoshu ze mujo shu ze mutodo shu no jo isei fushinditsu fukoko zetsu hanya haramita shuzoku zetsu shuwatsu gyate gyate hara gyate hara so gyate bodhi sowaka hanya shingyo negowaku wa kono kudoko mote amaneku isai ni oyoboshi warera toshija tomina tomono butsudo o animal liberation o jozen koto o jiho sanshi foshi son wasa foshi son bosa moko sa moko hoja horo mi. One moment while I check on Jingda. You okay, Jingda? You are doing okay. He was whining earlier. We now recite the refuge prayer in Tibetan and then in English. Sangye Jodan Zaki Chonam La Janju Padu Tedni Gyapsu Chi Taki Jinso Kipe Sonam Ki Jola Penja Sangye Chupar Sho. The Buddha, Dharma, and excellent assembly of the Sangha. Until I attain enlightenment in these, I take refuge. By my practice of the six perfections, may all sentient beings attain the state of Buddhahood. We now recite the four great Bodhisattva vows, Shigi Seigan, page 9 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. Shujo Muhen Segando Bono Mujien Segandan Homon Muryo Seganga Botado Mujo Seganjo. However numerous sentient beings, I vow to enlighten them all. However inexhaustible my delusions, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the dharmas, I vow to master them all. However endlessly enlightened way, I vow to follow it fully. And we now recite the six vows to our dear animal friends, page 10 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. However numerous my dear animal friends, I vow to liberate them all. However diverse the methods of animal liberation, I vow to support them all. However unheard their voices, I vow to speak out for them all. However painful and inexhaustible the methods of suffering, I vow to bear witness to them all. However infinite the cages and tanks, I vow to empty them all. However difficult animal liberation, I vow to achieve it completely. And now the recitation of the Vajrasattva Purification Mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Anupalaya Vajrasattva Te Nopatisa Jado Me Baba Sitosho Me Baba Siposho Me Baba Anorato Me Baba Sava Sita Me Prayata Sava Karma Sita Me Tichum Sri Yam Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sava Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mucha Vajri Baba Mahasamamya Sapaha. Well, good morning, Tiny Salazar. So good to see you. Good morning, Martin. So good to see you as well. The week before last, we talked about the Monday practicing, changing the bardos. Last week, we talked about the Tuesday practice, protecting. And so this week, we will talk about Wednesday's practice, healing. So part of the daily practices talks that we're going to be giving, unless somebody has another topic, please reach out to me if there's something you want to hear right away, and we'll interrupt the daily talks each week for a topic that might be more pressing, or if one comes up. Oh, thank you, Jackie, for checking on YouTube for me. I really appreciate that. I know it can be a hassle sometimes to jump around to different live streams, so I really appreciate checking that out. So the Wednesday practice for healing and prayers for our dear farmed animal friends. So specifically thinking about our animal friends such as chickens and turkeys, cows and pigs, some of the unfortunately traditional animals that are farmed, but also could include the guinea fowl and unfortunately we know fish are also farmed now, which is another horrible thing. Um, but the healing practice starts with the five afflictive emotions of anger, pride, ignorance, desire, and competitiveness are poisons that completely infect our body structure, biological processes, gross and subtle energies, senses and perceptions, thoughts, and an entire horizon and the entire horizon and extent of our awareness. So, kind of talks about like the five afflictions we all, us Buddhists, may be very familiar with, but anger, pride, ignorance, desire, and competitiveness are kind of the things that get in the way of having not only like just like physical and biological um, strong body, um, uh, but also affects our internal energy, um, the gross internal energy. So that refers to maybe like the obvious um, energy that we might have, such as this can be simple as like just feeling aware and awake early in the morning, or not feeling sluggish throughout the day. This is the gross energies, and the subtle energies might be more talking about like the chi energy or um, the spiritual energy. I think I would describe that as that. Affects things like our senses, our sight, hearing, touch, smell, all those things. Again, the health affects all these different things, as well as just our general awareness of what is going on in the world. The experience of illness of the five poisons debilitates ours and others' capacity in this life to realize original nature. So, simply states, that not only should we be concerned about our own health, which is very important if we're going to be concerned about others' health, but also to be concerned about others' health. We seek to heal ourselves and others from the disease of body, energy, and mind, which cloud our activities so we do not pursue the enlightened path with the energy needed to succeed. So simply put, we can't, help others. We can't help ourselves. We can't have um, uh, spiritual practice without a healthy body, and neither can others. So we seek to help others' health. The next paragraph reads, with great devotion we pray for good health of our dear animal friends. We send healing energy to all who may be sick or injured. We employ all efforts to remove the both physical and spiritual obstacles that might prevent our dear animal friends from living long, happy lives. So this next part simply is the dedication to our dear animal friends. As always, our practices are focused on our non-human animal friends. So this kind of sets that tone and talks about all of our animal friends that might be sick or injured. And especially when we're talking about farmed animal friends, they're born sick and or injured. And lots of injuries will be caused during the process. There's their normal process of living. Unfortunately, factory farms are extremely dangerous places, not only for humans, but for of course the farmed animals that live there. We recognize as humans we are often the causes of illness to our dear animal friends through confined animal feeding lots, CAFOs, keeping our dear animal friends in unclean facilities, inflicting injuries, ignoring symptoms of disease, and in general, apathy for our dear animal friends. And I specifically talked about general apathy because that kind of seems to be um, one of the large uh, causes of the continuation of animal exploitation and slavery and use is this general feeling of apathy towards our dear animal friends. As you know, people who are watching this live stream probably are very um, feeling and have a lot of feelings towards their dear animal friends and definitely don't have apathy. And then we have like the reverse of that where you're like, uh, you know, maybe you don't like animals and you might poison them or you might eat them because I can only think that if you're eating animals, it's because you don't like them. Um, that makes the most sense to me. Maybe you think it's a taste thing, but I would, you know, challenge that idea that it's truly a taste thing when you really can get the taste from plants and you're not really tasting flesh of animals. So I challenge that idea that um, folks who eat animals, they obviously don't like animals, and people who enslave them don't like animals, and folks who use them in entertainment. And so specifically, if you keep farmed animals for the purpose of using their bodies, you don't like animals. Um, but the biggest problem is not that extreme side of things. One moment, while I get Lucy or Jinga. So the biggest problem actually is not that extreme side of things because a lot of times that is motivated um, by this delusion of wanting yeah, either to profit from them, so the delusion of wanting to have more, and the delusion of thinking that amassing wealth will actually make you happy, or the delusion that somehow we're better than non-human animals, um, and so these things are a cause of the delusion, and also is caused by, you know, the five afflictive emotions: anger, pride, ignorance, desire, and competitiveness. Um, but again, the real problem is actually apathy. It's those folks that kind of go around blindly without thinking, who go through the drive-through at McDonald's and grab that Big Mac. It's the folks that just go through the grocery stores and sees the bodies of our dear animal friends and just throws them into the grocery cart without thinking of whether or not these animals have feelings or have families or who deserve to live. It's this general idea of apathy, of just like not thinking about it, not even questioning whether or not our animal friends should live. And so this is where I think is the biggest problem that we need to change, and it's why I'm a very big advocate of cultural change. We need to change the culture of how we think about our dear animal friends. Um, when I talk about them, I always refer to them as my dear animal friends, for that very reason of wanting to change culture. They're not just, you know, pork, or they're not beef. They're not, you know, even, uh, you know, eggs that I'm going to consume. They're not a product, but they're individuals. They're my friends. So we need to change the culture. We need to change folks' generalized apathy towards them. We also pray for the long life and good health for all the folks who work diligently at caring for the health of our dear animal friends: veterinarians, veterinary assistants, animal rescuers, animal investigators, and sanctuaries. So, um, a big part of running a sanctuary, as a lot of folks may know, is dealing with health issues and caring for the health of our dear animal friends here at the sanctuary. Very cost consuming endeavor, which is again why we try to continuously fundraise and why we have this big push here in the winter here to get some fundraising done. Um, and we want to think about when we're doing this practice to think about the veterinarians and veterinarian assistants, some of these folks who got into the business to help our dear animal friends. Because the reality is, like, non-human animal doctors don't pay a whole lot of money. They definitely are not in it for the money, not versus what the cost of going to school versus the cost of running a clinic, the cost of um, actually all the hard work that you might put into caring for non-human animals. Probably is underappreciated and definitely is not going to be something you get in for making a whole lot of money. Although it feels like that sometimes when we're charged thousands of dollars to have a chicken cared for, but I understand it's part of the, what we're paying for is that expertise and education that our veterinarian friends go through. So, as part of this practice, we have the Medicine Buddha mantra, Om Bhagate Bhagate Maha Bhagate Raja Samugate Soha. So this is a really good mantra to do when you might have an ailing friend, um, human or non-human. You can do this mantra. And then we have the Japanese versions, Om Yakushi no Arai, um, which is just the same mantra but in Japanese for the Medicine Buddha. And again, like, we invoke the name of the Medicine Buddha not as a form that, we think that the physical Medicine Buddha is going to come down and do healing, but to connect to our own healing nature, to connect to our own healing potential, to bring that into spiritual focus so that we can ourselves cause the healing of others or cause the healing of self. So we're calling upon that healing energy that is represented by the Medicine Buddha. And then we have the Eme Juku Kenan Gyo, which is the Kenan Bodhisattva's mantra, the 10-line mantra. And this mantra is, Kenan Bodhisattva is also known as Guanyin or Avalokiteshvara, the female manifestation of such. Yeah. Neil commented, apathy and little to no empathy and social conditioning. Yeah, so little to no empathy is definitely part of that problem. And it's probably something that we don't have the problem for. We have a lot of empathy towards our non-human animal friends. But maybe to try to invoke empathy in others, to have them understand the plight of our dear animal friends. Thank you, Chapman Chen, for the donation. We're very appreciative of that. Our dear animal friends are very appreciative of that. There's the second mantra, Om Yakushi Nyorai. Yeah, the second mantra is just the same but in Japanese, and it's probably more, recited in the Japanese temples as opposed to the first one, which is, I believe, is in Sanskrit or Tibetan. I don't remember, but one of those. Then we go on to the actual prayer for our dear animal friends, which kind of closes out the daily prayer. So today, let us send all of our merit, past, present, and future, to all farmed animals. So we always like to start with that, like the idea of dedicating our merit of past, present, and future, meaning that all the merit I've gained in the past, all the merit that I might be gaining right now is by doing this practice, and as well as any future merit that I might have. I want to dedicate all of it um, to our dear farmed animal friends. May all suffering and causes of suffering to our dear animal friends be forever ceased. May all the obstacles in the path to liberation of our dear animal friends be removed. And may our dear animal friends be filled with love and compassion. And then I talk about all the typical animals that get farmed: ducks, geese, turkeys, chickens, cows, pigs, sheep, goats, fish, ostriches, emus, quails, and all other farmed animals who suffer today in tiny cages and tanks, or crowded into feedlots, being beaten, fed, poisoned, and unnatural food. And for those of you languishing without water or food on trucks or entering the slaughterhouses. So, kind of, try to name a lot of the different farmed animal friends. And if you could think of another farmed animal friends, I think it's very appropriate to add it to that list, especially if you connect to them. I think that's a very good thing to do. And kind of explains, the conditions that are happening to them, the different tiny cages and tanks and crowded feed lots, what happens to them physically and the poisons that they're fed, and, the uh, unnatural amount of pharmaceuticals that they're given. We know that, I believe that the last percentage I heard was 90% of all antibiotics that are produced in the United States goes directly to farmed animals. Um, a lot of it's in their feed or put in their water or things like that. You always see these non-antibiotic um, advertisements for animal flesh, and a lot of those have been debunked. A lot of investigations have gone into those. They say they're not given antibiotics, and we go on the farms and we find antibiotics. So, or we had them tested and they show presence of that. 1 second while I get Jinda. What is it, baby? When you put your head there, you don't like it. And also to remember our dear animal friends who are entering slaughterhouses, or being transported on trucks. A lot of times, what you see is cows being brought from a pasture to a feedlot where they are unfortunately fed more than they need to be eating to get them to weigh more. So really, really horrible thing that's done to them. We bear witness to your suffering. We take both physical and spiritual action to permanently end it. That's included in every prayer. The idea that we take both physical and spiritual action is really important to me, especially as a religious person. That we remember that it's not just spiritual action that we take, but we actually go a step further and take physical action, whether that be, participating in protests, speaking out, changing legislation, or physically rescuing these animals. We take all these different actions. We continually accumulate and dedicate our merit, love, and compassion to comfort you and to transform the hearts of those who support this violent oppression. So again, when our spiritual practice goes to, love and compassion to comfort you, to transform the hearts of those who support this violent oppression. So we don't just want to help um, our dear animal friends be okay, and to have be happy and to have love and compassion, but we also want to change the system. We want to change those who support this system, those who are apathetic. We want to change them to being to having empathy. We want to change those who are participating in this oppression, to change their mind, to change their hearts. May all your suffering end immediately, right now, and right here and now through me. So just that statement that we want all that suffering to end, and we want all that suffering to end right now. So through the power of this particular prayer is we set that intention of ending all the suffering immediately, right now. May you quickly experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation. May you be reborn in whatever life is most beneficial for all sentient beings. So again, I end it with this idea of, that our dear animal friends are reborn in a place that is most beneficial for all sentient beings. So I don't make the assumption that a human rebirth is the best or a God, rebirth is the best. But um, whatever rebirth is going to benefit the most individuals. Um, I don't want any of my dear animal friends to be born as farmed animals, but I have to say that, the farm animals here have probably benefited me greatly. And so maybe they were reborn specifically to help teach me and to change me. And so maybe they were born in the most beneficial place for all sentient beings. I do believe um, that they've changed me, and this temple has changed others, has made other folks recognize and gain empathy towards their dear animal friends, and that is due to them being born in the place that is most beneficial for all sentient beings. Okay, so that is the Wednesday practice. If folks have questions, I'd love to hear about them. Let me just read some of these comments. Oh, I don't know why sometimes it does not update here. Oh, there we go. So much suffering on this planet, it feels like it just goes on and on endlessly. I agree, Yolanda. It seems insurmountable and overwhelming, but I think it's really important that we turn back to these prayers, we turn back to lean on our spirituality, lean on whatever health that we have in the moment, and press forward. And even when things don't seem to go our way, when we see things kind of happen really scary for a lot of folks, really scary for our dear animal friends, that we push forward for them and that we do our best to not only end suffering, but we want to think about how do we limit the amount of suffering that's happening. Do what little that we can. Every day we try to make a little bit of difference in our dear animal friends' lives, whether that be, choosing a vegan diet, maybe recycling a little bit more, being a little bit more careful where we step, signing that petition, going to that one more protest, having that one more conversation with one of your friends to try to gain empathy for dear animal friends. All of those things. Just call me Deal. Deal is the real deal. That's that's cute. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to end today's services with the recitation of the Animal Liberation Prayer and the Dedication of Merit and a quick Sanctuary tour. I do have another call to be on in like 5 minutes, so we'll have to go quick. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends, who are subject to unbearable pain in labs throughout the world, be free of all suffering. May alternatives to animal experimentation, vivisection, and dissection be implemented immediately. May bodhicitta, the quality of compassion that leads to enlightenment, fill the hearts of those who imprison them. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who suffer endless days, months, and years, locked in tiny cages unable to move, be filled with peace and calm. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are forcibly taken from their families, be reunited, and may all families be able to stay together. May the hearts of those who work in slaughterhouses, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends be filled with bodhicitta, so the very thought of harm is purified. May they never kill again, and may the slaughterhouse lines, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends become immediately empty. May no animal be afraid or depressed. May their bodies be free of injuries, disease, and illness. May the mutilation of their bodies be forever ceased. May those who need homes or have been driven from them find shelter, plentiful food, and water. May there be liberation for those tortured for free entertainment or who are hunted. May those who believe that they are superior to our brother and sister animals develop perfect equanimity, and may they realize in their hearts that all sentient beings possess Buddha nature, the potential to be completely free of suffering, and that they are not ours to kill or exploit. May the billions of land and sea-dwelling sentient beings who are abused, exploited, and killed due to greed, hatred, and ignorance be free of suffering. May all the nets, hooks, blades, projectiles, traps, snares, cages, pens, tanks, lethal restraints, saddles, reins, prods, bait, poison, and all instruments used to harm, exploit, and dominate our dear animal friends be forever abolished. May all human and non-human sentient beings live together in harmony, peace, equanimity, and achieve perfect enlightenment quickly. May we all experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation in this very lifetime. And we now recite the dedication of merit to our dear animal friends. Throughout our many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue we have accomplished, including this aspiration for peace, and all that we will ever attain, this we offer for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends. May suffering, exploitation, and unnecessary death be decreased for every being, while wisdom, bliss, and compassion increase in this and every future life. May we clearly and instantly perceive the plight of our dear animal friends with the urgency and seriousness they deserve, and our every action leads them to complete liberation. May we quickly attain enlightenment and work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. All right, we'll take a quick tour. Yeah, forgive me for the shaky camera. There's our ducks. Harriet and Priya. Looking good, girls. Everybody likes to say hi to you folks. There's Sabrina and Elton and our cute little ducks. There's Dora. Hey, 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 hey. There's a hen and a rooster over here, kind of getting into it. I believe that's Melissa. Melissa, you're not a fighter, and neither are you, Elton. All right, thank you everyone for joining us here at the Animal Liberation Temple, where we are at the spiritual and physical liberation of our dear animal friends. Please share this live stream, share our posts about our fundraiser. That'd be super, super helpful. I hope to see everybody here next week, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I can definitely go over some of the things like the daily practices if people need help on that, or have any more questions on that. I also need to go through the actual practices, do them, so people can have an idea of how that works. So we'll be doing that in the future as well. But thank you all and have a wonderful, wonderful week.